All right, so I don't even really know how to start a video like this. It's my first time, I think, recording a video of this kind that I'm not making just for myself to watch, but rather for other people to hear. So, I mean, it's fucked. I've got shitty GTA background footage and I'm recording using my phone's microphone. I'm not even using headphones. That's how cooked we are. But anyways, I think fear. The reason I'm doing this video is because of fear. Because I've decided that I'm gonna stop letting fear control my life to such a heavy extent as it has, right? I think fear, and I mean, obviously, specific fear, right? Like being scared of a lion or some shit is, it's valid, but the fear that stops you from trying to accomplish the things that you know you want to accomplish because you're scared of failure or of judgment or of just looking stupid or anything like that, that kind of fear, I think, it's poisonous. It's destructive, right? And it leads to a lot of regret. Like, for example, for me, I have always wanted to do YouTube or something kind of creative and entertaining. And even when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a YouTuber. When I was like 9 years old, I told all my classmates that I was a YouTuber, and that because I had a YouTube channel that only had like 20 subs or whatever, and that I was gonna be a YouTuber. And so weird because I remember, like, so when I was 9 years old, right, I had this YouTube channel. It only had 20 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I had the shittiest gaming videos on planet Earth. I'm telling you, I was recording the gameplay just using the regular PlayStation, like, share, like save clips shit. Didn't even have like an actual recording software. I didn't have a microphone. It was like the PlayStation, like, controller microphone or something. So you could hear literally everything in the background. No editing whatsoever. I was 9 years old. I had this like really squeaky girlish voice, right? So and like it was like an annoying girlish voice, not just a girlish voice. So I had everything kind of going against me when I made that channel, and I uploaded a couple of videos, and I got and I know that a lot of people who start to do YouTube, right? It takes them years to even get some of them takes them years to even get some subscribers. The fact that I had 21 off of a few shitty videos, right? That should have been encouragement to keep going. When I told my classmates, when I told everybody I was a YouTuber, or that I was gonna become a YouTuber as like a job or whatever, nobody like told me that I was stupid or that I would fail. Like it was all encouragement, right? So even in this situation where where I was seeing like you know, relatively like okay, kind of easy success, sort of. Obviously, I'm not saying it would have translated to like a million subscribers automatically, but the start was better than it could have been, and the support was better than it could have been. Even with something like that, I didn't end up following through because of a combination of fear and I guess laziness. Laziness is something I'm going to touch upon. Why am I using fancy words? Laziness is something I'm going to talk about in the next video, maybe, right? But sticking to the topic of fear, fear stopped me from doing that, from pursuing my dream of YouTube when I was younger. I have also like 5 other YouTube channels besides this one that hopefully I'm going to stick to this time. YouTube channels where I might have uploaded a few videos and stopped, or might have never uploaded videos but had plans. I've got probably hundreds of gigabytes worth of just video footage and audio footage and just unedited footage and stuff that I never ended up uploading. And why did I never end up doing all of that? Because of fear, the fear of failing, the fear of being judged, right? Which is a bit contradictory, right? Because if there was somebody to judge, that would mean that the video, I mean, is getting views. But whatever. Fear stopped me from doing all of that, and it just leads to regret, right? I can't help but wonder, when I was 9 years old, had I just kept uploading. I'm 20 now. I turned 20 like 2 weeks ago. Had I just kept, that's over 10 years of potential. That's 10 years of potential lost. I'll never know. And I think that's the really big problem with fear. It's the fact that you'd never know. Whenever you let fear dictate whether or not you try to accomplish something that you genuinely want to accomplish, you get to this stage of regret where you never know what could have been. And now thankfully I think that hopefully I'll upload this, but I think that by doing this I will steer off that course of having like a lifetime full of what ifs. I'll only have to deal with, what ifs from my childhood, which aren't that bad, right? As a child, you don't have as much consciousness and self control and all of that. But I think for the majority of people, well, the majority of people that have ambitions, they never try, and it leads to a lifetime of regret. And that regret is focused on the what if they had tried. I think, well, logically, I understand that failure is better, that the pain of failure is better than the regret of never having tried at all. And so that fear should just go, screw itself. But I feel that it's hard to actually act on it, isn't it? I wrote a whole ass paper on this for my school, like for my university. I wrote a whole ass paper on this, and it still hasn't hit me. And so I guess this is kind of my last ditch effort. This YouTube channel, this video format is my last ditch effort, right? It's just gonna be me doing what I love. Well, one of the things I love, which is just to yap about nonsense and I guess kind of philosophical stuff, just saying a bunch of bullshit, to be honest, and in a faceless format, right? I wanted to do the kind of guy talks about life shit and philosophical shit while playing Call of Duty, but I thought, you know what, it might be cooler to play some other stuff. So here you go. You're seeing some pretty shitty GTA gameplay in the background. I've actually haven't played GTA in I think months or not years at this point. So that's why the driving is so bad. Please forgive me. But I think doing something like this is really good because, well, one, right now I can already feel the fear. I can already feel myself judging myself, thinking this is so shit, right? Like, I was debating on what kind of YouTube videos to make. I wanted something that I knew I could be consistent in, and something that I'd be comfortable with, and I wanted something obviously easy enough to do consistently, because with my past track record, I thought that anything too difficult would I wouldn't end up being consistent in. And I was watching Polly Walnuts today, and I thought, what if I just did what he did, right? Which, now that I'm recording this, I'm thinking, holy shit, I feel like he's so much better at this than I am. But I also should know that it's fine. He's been doing it for over a year. I've had zero experience with this, so I'll get better, right? Fear is just such a stupid thing. It sucks. It sucks. Fear is like, it sucks. Like not doing what you want to do in life because you're scared of getting judged or of failing or whatever. It just saps the life out of you. And so anyways, yeah. What was that? GTA footage instead of Call of Duty footage, and I'm gonna try to make, I guess, videos of that kind, right? This is the easiest format to make based on fear, right? It's faceless. Nobody will ever know who I am unless I want to like do a face reveal or something. If I even have success, it's super easy to make. I literally just have to turn on an audio recording and just record myself talking, and then separately record myself doing a whole bunch of bullshit on a video game. Just put that shit together, put a thumbnail on a title, and there it is. I don't know. I think, I mean, what was even the point of this video? I didn't want it to be one of those just like first video for the sake of first videos, but it's kind of turning into that. But I mean, the overall thing I wanted to say, I guess, is that if you have anything you're scared of doing that isn't, some stupid shit, like if you have anything that you're scared of doing but that is like a dream of yours to do, and that the only real danger is if you did it is that, I don't know, people might judge you for doing it, might laugh at you or something, or that you'll fail and you won't accomplish it, then you should do it. And I think, like, I don't know, maybe starting with like a really small, really easy, really laughably easy step is a way to do it, right? Like, I want to be a YouTuber, but this is like, the easiest first step I could take. Just talking a whole bunch of bullshit. It's probably going to be a really bad video, and record myself playing GTA. By the way, if you pay attention, you can see that I'm so early in the game. I'm playing as Franklin. He doesn't even have like weapons yet. He's just driving. I'm just driving. I have no weapons. I have no money, which is why I keep getting slimed. But anyways, yeah. Um, Fear really just is the devil, man. Just so many times that I have avoided doing what I wanted to do in life because of being scared. It's, I mean, and some people go their whole lives just letting fear control them, you know. And like I said, I wrote a whole like essay in college about um about basically the topic was, is it better to try to achieve your dreams and fail, or is it better to never try and always wonder what if, from a psychological perspective? So obviously, barring extreme cases where somebody just like, I don't know, blows up their entire finances to try to achieve a dream, right? Just cases where the only real risk is failure, from a sort of, you know, mental health standpoint of having failed, and judgment and everything. It is without a shadow of a doubt better for you to take a risk and fail, you know, again, as long as it doesn't end up ruining your life in some crazy major way. Um, and I think, you know, like earlier today, I had the idea to do these kinds of videos at like, I think 6 p.m. It's currently midnight. I took forever to do it, forever to start doing it. And again, I can feel myself right now. It's building up inside of me. It's telling me not to post this, but I'm gonna fucking post it. I can't stop. I can't keep letting fear stop me from living my life, and neither should you. Seriously, how do these YouTubers do this? I feel like I ran out of shit to talk about, and this just isn't like entertaining at this point. I don't know. You know, the funny part is when I'm making these videos and I'm just like recording for myself or something like that, I can talk for so much longer and keep my train of thought for so much longer. But because I know I'm going to upload this, it's just, you know, the thoughts escape me, the words escape me. Well, I mean, maybe that's my bad. The topic of fear and why it sucks is a pretty simple concept to grasp. Obviously, missing out on maybe accomplishing your dreams because you're too scared to not accomplish your dreams by trying, even if you try. Obviously, that's a pretty straightforward concept to say. Fear bad, you should do the thing anyways. And so, you know, there's not a lot to talk about in this video, I guess. But oh well. I think another thing is laziness. But laziness is a weird thing, isn't it? There's varying degrees of it. There's like just actually being lazy. There's like procrastination, which is like kind of its own thing, maybe. And I don't know, like when I was talking about how when I was a kid and I didn't continue doing YouTube, that was a mixture of the fear of failing and a mixture of laziness. And I think it's an interesting, they're like a pair, because fear is the thing that stops you from trying in the first place. But once you have tried, laziness is the thing that stops you from continuing, right? So I got over my fears multiple times of making YouTube videos, but I got too lazy and I never ended up continuing, right? I have gotten over the fear of like going to the gym or whatever, but I've been lazy in the past, and so I still don't have a crazy physique or anything like that, right? There's so many other like instances, and you know, but they're intertwined. Fear and laziness are intertwined. I think if you had no fear, maybe laziness wouldn't be as much of a problem, right? Like the fear of being judged, for example, with the YouTube stuff, the fear of being judged, the fear of being a failure. If you had some kind of assurance, or just that fear went away, right? If you had an assurance that you're not going to be laughed at, or an assurance that you are going to succeed, then I feel like it would be harder to be lazy. And the same thing with fear, right? Part of that fear of failure, of being judged, is because you think that you might not fully commit and consistently put in work into the thing that you want to do. And that makes you fear doing the thing. I think they're both sides of the same coin. I think people don't think about that enough. And I think I don't think about that enough. And that I just figured that out in the middle of this recording. Fear and laziness, or procrastination, whatever you want to call it, is are a pair. One cannot fully exist without the other, right? And so, like, again, when I was a kid, made a bunch of videos, but then I got lazy. I even got my dad to get me an Elgato and a computer to like a gaming PC, so that I could record games on it, but also edit on it. And I got a Blue Yeti microphone from him. My dad was very supportive, and I really am grateful to him for that now that I think about it. But what did I do? I recorded videos, but I never edited them properly because I was too lazy to edit, because editing is kind of hard. I never made proper thumbnails. I never bothered to actually make the videos. I just did the recording part, right? And it's just laziness just erodes you, right? Like, fear can destroy your life if you never try, right? Fear is the thing that creates, I'd say, regret the most. But laziness erodes you from within. It doesn't create regret in that same way. It creates more like, just like, I don't know, kind of a hatred. Because it's not even like a regret of, oh, what if I had done it? It's more like, I could have, but I didn't, because what, I didn't feel like it or something. Yeah, so that's interesting how fear and laziness or procrastination, whatever the hell you want to call it, are two sides of the same coin. And look, I there it is. I feel it again. Right now I'm thinking to myself, should I upload this video? I feel like my voice sounds goofy. I'm thinking, I feel like my voice sounds goofy. I feel like I would be embarrassed by uploading this. Even though, again, probably nobody's going to see this first video. Even if they do, I doubt the first, like, fucking few dozen people that see this are going to bother hating on it. I'm a nobody as of yet. And, again, like, nobody knows who I am, so who gives a shit? But still, that fear of being judged is trying to trick me. My mind is trying to trick me into not uploading this video. So fear and laziness are just two sides of the same life-destroying coin. And, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll keep going down the rabbit hole. How much time do I got left? Oh, okay. I'll keep going down the rabbit hole. Another thing is, I think that idealizing a life, not style, but idealizing a path, also adds to the burden of starting it, right? Because if you're already scared and lazy about starting a YouTube channel, the idealization of big YouTubers who make a lot of money and stuff is even more damaging, right? Like, for example, like, I've been searching up on vidIQ for some reason, like, how much revenue different YouTubers make, to try to think of like which niche is best, but that I'd still have fun doing or whatever. And I'm like searching up people like fucking Markiplier. Like, in what world am I gonna reach Markiplier's level anytime soon, if ever? Right? And I'm thinking, oh my god, this is so nice. They make so much money. But it's like, yeah, bro, but you don't. And they didn't make that much. They didn't make the money at the beginning. At the beginning, they were just like you. They were people that didn't know if they were going to succeed. They were people that had no assurance of it. People that were probably scared of getting laughed at, mocked, or whatever, were failing. But they still did it anyways. And I don't know. I think, like, if you're anything like me, I think you think too much about uh the, like, end result success, and it stresses you out even more because, like, you really want it, but then it's the only thing you care about, and then you begin to dread the work because all you're doing is dreaming about the result without dreaming about the output, right? The input and the output. Like I just been thinking, and it's weird because when I was a kid, I used to want to be a YouTuber for pure love of the game, love of the game, some dear basketball shit. Because I love watching YouTube, and even when I did record those videos, those few videos that I did upload, even though they were shitty, I enjoyed doing it. But then, as you get older, or as I got older, now I'm thinking more about I want to do YouTube to make money, and because it's like one of the safest ways to make money. But it's like that love and passion for it hasn't faded, but it's just become less important. But also the fear and the laziness has sort of covered it, right? It's hard to be passionate about doing something if you're scared about doing it and if you're lazy when it comes to actually doing it. So, and one last thing before I finish off what is going to be a pretty bad first video. The reason I started this YouTube channel, that I'm going to have these kinds of videos where it's just like dude playing video game in the background and talking about some random bullshit, is that even if I don't have super successful early on, hopefully I do, but even if the shit flops and doesn't go as hard as my 20 of my as my 9-year-old self's 21 subscribers, um I think that making progress, like genuine progress in some area of your life, spills over to the others. So I think by finally forcing myself to do something that I've been wanting to do since I was literally 9 years old, or actually younger, since by doing something that I've always wanted to do and actually sticking to it, despite my fears or being lazy or whatever the fuck, I think it would spill over into other areas of life where I would have the courage and the resilience and the, I don't know what else you want to say, grit, but that sounds a bit cringe, to work on those goals and try to accomplish them, regardless of if they're hard or if failure is a real possibility and it's scary. So I don't know. I think if there's anything you've been thinking about doing, that you've been thinking about doing since you were a kid, and the only real risks in you doing it is, and you're not hurting anybody, and the only real risks in you doing it is failing at it or being judged by a few people, I think you should 100% do it. I think the alternative of regret is just too much. Anyways, yeah, that's it for my shitty first video. I keep talking down on myself. Whatever. It's not shitty. It's mid. It's mid. Mid is fair. Shady is not fair. So that's the end. If you for some reason watched until here, thank you so much. Genuinely, I'm not expecting anybody to watch this really, let alone watch it until the end. If you did, you are the best. I like and subscribe, I guess, right? If you watch until here, you probably liked the video, so please like it. Comment what you thought, and please subscribe. I promise, dear viewer, that I'm just from now on, I'm actually going to be posting frequently. I'm going to try to do at least one video a week, but since this is such an easy format that I'm going with, unless I'm trying to do something a bit more creative that takes a bit more editing and or scripting or something like that, I'm actually going to, I think, probably try to do more than one video a week, maybe 2 or 3 or something, since this is actually pretty simple. I just have to record some gameplay and talk off the dome. I hope I have the personality to make this work. I don't know yet, but we're going to find out. You know what? Fuck that. I know that I have the personality to make this work. I just hope I can go past the fear and all that other shit I mentioned in this video to actually make this work. By the way, next video is probably going to be better. Again, like I said, I'm recording this at midnight in my brother's room in on my phone without even using a microphone or headphones. So, the mental space, it wasn't feeling like, why am I explaining all this? You know what? Whatever. Thank you for watching. Bye.